But it's she. I'm a woman now.
Were you born a male?
Yes, I was.
And if you were born a male, how is it that you're a woman?
That's what I identify as.
But why identify as something that you're not? It's not sane to do that.
I just want to blend in as a woman. That's all I want to do. I do a pretty good job of it.
No, you don't look like a woman at all.
Well, that's your opinion.
No, Stevie Wonder can see that you're not a woman.
I don't go to clubs and do shows and dance.
Oh.
I'm a proper lady. I'm just an average woman. What is funny?
Oh, God.
What are you laughing at, Jesse?
I'm laughing at you.
But it's she. I'm a woman now.
Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Baha Sham, Yahweh Shai, Baha Sham, Racha Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. To you, I say Shalom. And as you can see, clearly, this is a man, but he's trying to identify himself as a woman. And it just that's why Jesse Lee Peterson, he's just laughing like it's comical. And hey, this is condoned and this behavior is pushed here in Babylon the Great. That's why this place is Babylon the Great, the land of confusion. It's nothing but mixing and confusion here, right? Just want to do a quick video. Let's read some comments. Somebody said, I identify as a billionaire. Somebody said they're trans wealthy. Somebody said, I identify as a doorbell. My pronouns are ding dong. This is what people identify themselves as. Of course, these people in the comments making mockery, but you have actual people, they may identify themselves as a dog or a cat or a 6-year-old girl, like some weird SHIT, right? You can identify as a fire hydrant. Doesn't make you one, though. The Stevie comment was hilarious. Yeah, people identifying themselves as a tree, and it's just weird here in America. Just absolutely weird. This type of behavior don't get reproved or rebuked in these in the so-called Christian church. They actually push forth this behavior. They're actually with this wickedness. You have men saying that they identify themselves as a female or woman. You have women saying that they identify themselves as a man. It's just confusion here, man. That's why Babylon the Great will be destroyed by nuclear missiles. This is Revelation 11, verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. The great city is talking about America. You have our people that's, You're spiritually dead without understanding. All right. And this place is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Okay. They push forth what? Abominable acts. They push forth abomination. They push forth sodomy. They push forth wickedness. This place is where where the children of Israel is oppressed. All right, you have the northern kingdom here and the southern kingdom. We've been oppressed together here. We're in bondage, right? Double straighten on this side, straighten on that side. We just straighten here. All right, this place is a prison. They X'd out the true Messiah. All right, they're pushing forth another Messiah, which is not the true Messiah. They pushing forth Jesus. You see, they X'd out the true image of the Messiah. You know, they're not pushing forth the true Messiah, nah. But who's pushing forth Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai and the true doctrine? Well, the prophets. The prophets of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Starting with the apostles, starting with the elders of Great Millstone, and the men on down, right? Okay. This is spiritually Egypt. Who was the modern day Pharaoh? Esau, Edom. And Pharaoh was considered a god in the earth. Okay? This type of behavior has been condoned in the world because the wicked are in rulership. This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? The Heavenly Father, Yahweh, through his son Yahushai, gave this earth into the hands of the wicked. The wicked being Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. The self-proclaimed white man, right? They call themselves white, but they're not white. They're really red, right? That's why it's wickedness going on. That's why wickedness being pushed forth, because the wicked are in rulership. All right? You're not going to have no trans community in the kingdom of heaven. That's madness, right? You had the so-called white man painting or painted over the image, over, they put themselves to be the children of Israel. They saying that the Messiah is a so-called white man. The angels are so-called white people. They saying that if God is real, they saying that God is white. Just whitewashing the images. Who did that? The so-called white man. You have the elite banking families that's ruling right now, starting with the Rothschilds, right? Those banking families. Because the president is just a puppet for the United States. Okay? That's why wickedness is being pushed forth. That's why you have people identifying themselves as a tree or a novel or a book. It's weird here, right? Very weird. That's why this place is going to get destroyed, man. This Revelation 18 verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies, right? Well, verse 2 says, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and every cage, in the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Going into, after the destruction, this will happen, where you're going to have unclean animals, unclean fowls, unclean birds dwelling here in Babylon the Great. You know, once the fire go down, the fire from the chariots, the fire from the nuclear missiles. Okay, Babylon is falling. Babylon the Great is falling. This place gonna fall eventually. Right now, it's still thriving. Right now, the so-called white man still in rulership, but it's gonna come a day. It's gonna come a time where Babylon the Great will fall, according to prophecy, according to the Bible, according to the mystery. Right? And verse 3 is going into how, you know, these different nations, you know, took on the philosophies of Babylon the Great. And yes, America is the biggest import. They don't export anything, you know. But these different nations adopted the ways of Babylon the Great. So you have many nations, you know, you have different peoples identify themselves as a tree or as a remote control. You have people marrying a tree. You have people marrying themselves. This is all happening because the so-called white man's in rulership. You see, that's why wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth.
What's up, baby?
My name is Bailey. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Can I have some? I can have some?
You said you can ask. You want to ask me something?
No, can I have some?
Okay. Go on. You have some good.
Like, you look good.
What you want? What you want? Some of the sauce?
Yeah, I want to taste the sauce.
What you mean you want to taste it?
You look good, and I just want some of the sauce. So,
I already got him in.
but you know, I'm a woman, so you can get your man, then I can.
I got a trans man too.
Oh, so dang, you don't want nothing else?
This right here for the hoe.
Through, right? Clearly that's a man. But you think he's a woman. And you have the black woman, you know. Of course, in the spirit of condoning that behavior, man. This place is wickedness, man. You know, they declare their sins as Sodom. They hide it not. You see? And his name is Saucy Santana. You know, and he mentioned how he said men want to F him, kids want to F him. So it's a big frenzy going on the internet. People talking about how he mentioned how kids want to F him. You know, this place is got to get destroyed, you know. You're going to have people say, you can't judge him. You can't judge him. Only God can judge him. Do you people know the judgment for that behavior? You weirdos, right? This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 1. I will start at verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, right? For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So that's why the Lord is bringing death, famine, sword, destruction, plagues, calamity, pestilences, plagues. You see, and that's happening now. Earthquakes in diverse places, diseases, people getting judged, man. Why? Because the wickedness that people are doing, you know. Absolutely wicked, right? A lot of you so-called black women, or you women in general, you love to befriend momos and moles, right? Why is that? Because women are very wicked. And that's just the answer. Just to keep it frank. The scriptures talks about and goes into the wickedness of women. But if you be a man, if you are a manly man, they say it's toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity is a social concept describing rigid and restrictive cultural expectations of manhood that emphasize toughness, emotional suppression, and dominance. While traditional traits like strength are not inherently negative, they become harmful when they promote aggression, devalue emotional expression, and lead to negative social and mental health outcomes. So people think, masculinity is toxic. Because in reality, Esau Edom, he wants men to be like women. Because Esau Edom, that nation of people, they're moles by nature. They're the wicked, so they're gonna do all different types of abominable acts and think all different types of abominable things. Just want to do this lesson. So with that, all praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha, Kwadash, Shalom.